this grant? Do you remember off the top of your head?
The grant itself was 148, 264, 97 or something like that.
Okay. Mike here? No.
So, and I did have, in some 911 funds, I have to go back and look at them again, but I thought I had about 75,000 in there, from last year when we started this conversation piece, and I did talk to, I had Ed talk to the fire board to see if they would be interested in partaking in that as well. So I think for the most part, lease-wise, we're looking at right around 70,000, be left over, of that 292 or 293, is about where we're at. So, that's why I asked fire board if they could pitch into anything, that'd be great. That's why I have them all here today, for that aspect, since I look at it as public safety radio, not just sheriff's office communications, so.
How many MTs are you gonna ask them to?
I was going, I actually thought we were gonna get them here today for the meeting as well. And I guess that didn't happen, so.
Okay.
But I was trying to get all the players in the same room at the same time, so that was the plan.
From the city of Townsend?
I didn't bring that to them. I don't know what they're using, and so that was, we used to get them on the radios and stuff, and they just don't hear them anymore. So I don't know if they're utilizing the cell phone, yeah.
I think they do.
And really using you, that's probably covered under the interlocal, yeah, I didn't even think about
So
that.
I
That would be
haven't
better.
gone too far with that, and I think for the most part, I think we're really close, and I want everybody to be on the same sheet of music though, because it does open the doors to communications a lot better. It's where we're going, and heck, I think by 2022, they got a new thing they want to implement where it's having video go through as well. So technology just keeps moving forward, and we're way behind the eight ball on this one. So this has been out in practice for the better part of 15 years at least in Helena, I think. So we've had digital radios since, I think, 2005, 2004 here. We've never been able to utilize them though. So that's kind of a problem. We spent a lot of money on radios for this purpose. And same with the fire department, that's not being utilized. We're still doing conventional when we have a $5,000 handheld radio for digital. So we're trunking. So this is just, I think, that final step to bring it all together. So.
Okay. You guys have any questions?
16 radios.
All right. Do you want to, this is on the agenda, so we could make a decision today if you wanted to follow the option 1, 2, and 3. That gives us the ability, we'll have to find out, 70,000 to make up that difference. That gives us some time to do that.
Well, and I did talk with the 911 administrator, and I can use those funds for, so.
The 75.
Yeah,
Okay.
that and the lease as well. I did have a conversation with her on that.
Oh, okay.
So I can use the 75 for it, and I can also use whatever I need to for the lease part of that as well.
So are you looking at option 1, option 2, option 3?
I think, if we can get any more assistance, then we're fine, but I think even reality-wise, I think option 1 is probably fine. So,
When you're talking option one, let me know what are you talking about?
the lease, on the lease.
Oh, on the lease.
Because
Yes.
you're talking a little over 20,000.
That lease document right there is not the actual lease document that you get, that's just a synopsis of it. You can set it up for any amount of time that you want to, up to 7 years.
Oh, okay.
So that's something that after the detailed design review, when you have the final dollar amounts that you want to separate between the different payment options, then we actually develop the final, you say, I want it for 4 years or so many months. Then we develop the final lease documentation that actually is used for the purchase.
So is there a way to...
Mark,
Okay.
Yes, Dave?
during the design review,
will they look, will you be looking, or some, like Gary, somebody be looking at some of the standards, like the R56 standard, to make sure there's no surprises?
Yes.
You know, the Ethernet and all that, so that, as you and I both know, those things come up and bite you in the butt.
Right, yep, that's a good point, and yes. And part of this proposal was an R56 audit. So you got it.
But then will that happen before they find this?
You
sign
guys
final
tell, you guys
paperwork?
tell us what you want, and that's what'll happen. So if you want it before the detailed design review, that's something that Jerry would do then.
We probably, you wanna start there, wouldn't you?
Probably have to have, I would imagine we'd have to see what's there. You've done enough work in the
Oh,
building,
yeah,
probably know.
so it's pretty close to what it should be. I'm sure there's probably some improvements that could be made, but that would come out of the audit. Because the standards have changed since that was originally installed, so.
But yeah, I would say that it's probably pretty close as it sits. And I found that out in actually a lot of rural dispatch centers. The shops have done a really good job about grounding and about keeping them up to standards, because it's gotten more and more important, as the equipment has changed. They just needed better equipment rooms to protect their equipment.
Sure.
So no, that's a point that, you bet. Once we start the process, then an R56 audit can be done before the detailed design review. And that would give you an idea, because if there are some issues, yes, it's up to you guys to correct those issues. It's not something that's part of the proposal.
Okay,
Per se.
that makes sense.
Now, we can wrap it into, because if we do it before the detailed design review, you may say, I wanna wrap that into the lease.
Okay.
You know, I've got $3,000 worth of grounding that needs to be done that wasn't planned on. The other side is what the power situation is within the room. There are some electrical things that need to be run by an electrician over to the new racks. That is something that most counties, they have their own electrician and their own standards that they wire to. It's not something that we do in the process.
So
Mark? I'm sorry, go ahead.
all of this equipment's gonna be installed right here, right?
Yes,
Nothing needs to be done up at the site, at Limestone?
yes. Point to point. There's a point-to-point microwave. One site goes up at Limestone, and one side is down here. And so there's a link, that link that goes up to Limestone. Up at Limestone, that Ethernet link is switched to a T1. And there's already a T1, unless you've heard something else, Dave, but there was always a T1 assigned to this county for dispatch. When they implemented that system, they ran T1s for every county to do dispatch. And last time I talked with Charlie, the T1 existed from this county or for this county. And I haven't run into, in every county I've done, I haven't run into actually any time that the T1 hasn't already been there. They just have to turn it on, and they do some testing to make sure that it meets the specifications for a T1. And that's all the way back to Helena, to the master zone control. It sits in Helena. Which is, that's still owned by Lewis and Clark County, right?
So you had mentioned that we might be able to save some money with the APX 6500. And it looks like it's actually offers redundancy to us, but just for curiosity's sake, what would be that amount of money that we could save?
I think it's like $10,000.
Okay, is it the third box?
Yes.
Okay. Right, any other questions? So, do you guys want to address this today, or do you want to have a working meeting with WIN, Rural Fire, EMS? I think that'd probably be the extent of our partners, and, see what we can do, and also take a week maybe to target where we come up with the $70,000 match essentially.
Well, that would be, and that 75, that 70 that we're kind of short in the grant school, that's what I can figure out, we can at least set out. cost of three, four, whatever you want to do, timeframe. I mean, because those 911 funds can't be utilized for that,
So each year,
each year we could submit
so
that.
if you did 2 year, 3 or 4 years, each year they'd come out of that 911 fund.
Yep.
I would still like to meet with, I would like to table it for at least a week or so to meet with all the parties involved and just work better with them and then make a decision. I guess that's what I would do.
Are you guys available to meet next week, next Monday, to do that? Working partners? And either at, I would say probably later on in the afternoon, if that works better for you guys with your work schedules. Or earlier in the morning, we're pretty flexible.
I'm not very busy right now, so.
What day are we looking at?
Next Monday, 24th? Okay. All right, good answer. That makes it easy to work around you.
Typical farm answer.
We don't have a meeting, with the city county meeting this Thursday.
What are you looking at?
26th.
Perfect. Fire board meets Wednesday.
Yeah,
This
this
Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Is there anything you need from me?
Probably.
70,000 would come in. You asked.
I'm glad you're here, Tom.
You wanna do 2 o'clock then?
We have the Forest Service, DES, NRC, NRCS, all those partners, BLM, BOR, coming at 2, so 3:30?
I
That
should
work?
be here for that one too, because we'll be
Yeah.
having a discussion about a lease. So,
Yeah, that's definitely, could be some of the partners brought into this.
3:30, sir?
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna call you guys the Motorola Partners team. Give you a clever little name.
Does that work? You good? You up?
Oh, thank you guys, I appreciate it a lot.
We
And then
appreciate your work with us.
After the next meeting then, we should have I guess what I'm looking for is the, okay, since it's gonna be a 6-month ordeal, that we put something in place and get that.
Well, that's, I
I
guess,
expect Monday we can have an official vote on that.
Okay, and there is in that proposal, there is the actual communication system agreement, in the back.
Section 10.
Oh, okay.
Section 9 or 10,
This one.
is the actual communication system agreement that, Motorola signs with the customers.
So you want this signed when they approve this,
Yes,
okay?
that gets everything started.
Okay,
Again, it's not a document that, what I wanna say, sets the dollar amount in stone, or, because the detailed design review is what does that.
this more sets responsibilities and stuff.
Yeah, and, yeah, and it's got lots of real terminology in there, I haven't got a clue what it's saying. but you
Another
guys
3
do.
AM reader?
You guys do, yes.
All right.
So that's just this.
Yeah, there's,
No,
Now,
I think probably,
Yeah, this-
you can change this, you can say the
So we
customer,
could,
let's say,
sorry
if you
for
need
the delay, guys.
commissioner or somebody else to sign it, you can just add to it. On it.
All right.
okay, so this is.
Yes,
Yes.
and when we get it back,
We will go ahead and
I will
adjourn.
actually
Oh,
send it
no,
off
we're
to
gonna
Motorola,
recess.
and they sign it.
We have some
He
people
signs
that
a
we have
copy
to
of it,
take care of today.
and then she comes back for storage.
So we'll just recess after that helps.
Because like I said, you'll be
Thanks, Ann.
Do you want that one?
No, she turned it off. Thanks.
after.
Would you like Michelle? No, I'll have you say it shortly.
Thank you, Mark, I appreciate it.
Yeah, they did.